5:30. Corey and Rick coming up next tonight, all new on 7 News at 5:30. It is a welcome sight for the wet and the weary. Help finally arriving in one flood-ravaged neighborhood as hundreds of people line up for food.
We're looking at one of those lines in Sweetwater. I'm Robin Simmons. Folks here are getting impatient, waiting in these lines for supplies. We'll have a continuing story on the cleanup coming up.
Also tonight, a South Florida teenager riding his bicycle one minute, then hit by a police officer the next. The horrible scene is caught on camera. A mother leaves her home for just a few minutes, she says, to drop off her children and comes home to heartbreak. Dozens of people caught off guard when the ground begins to shake. The incredible pictures of this tremor tear coming up. We'll tell you where it's happening. These stories and a whole lot more. Jeff Begay's joins me next for 7 News at 5:30. See you then.
Tonight, we suggest you experience police videos from the safety of your living room. Get up close without getting hit. The season premiere, Police Videos. Then, from the creators of the Blair Witch Project.
The Freaky team is determined to uncover the truth behind the strange and unusual.
I want to know what's going on. It's the website. We're stirring them up.
The series premiere of Freaky Links. It all starts at 8, 7 Central tonight on Fox.
Clay Shaw says he doesn't support privatizing Social Security? You decide. The Sun Sentinel reported Clay Shaw has emerged as a national leader in the drive to partially privatize Social Security. And the Palm Beach Post calls Shaw an architect of the Republican plan to privatize Social Security. Elaine Bloom will never vote to risk Social Security money in the stock market. Elaine Bloom, Democrat for Congress. Our priorities.
Bill Nelson has failed. Homeowner insurance costs are up 70%. Surcharges are up $200 million. Bill Nelson, higher costs for lower coverage with fewer choices. That's the Bill Nelson record of failure.
Live from the news station. This is 7 News at 5:30.
It is a sentiment echoed through the flood-ravaged community.
My food. That's why we're here.
Right now, he's like, Mommy, I want food, Mommy, I want food. The flood didn't let my mom go to the supermarket, so that we don't have any food.
Tonight, help has finally arrived for victims of a flood of trouble. Good evening, everyone. Several food camps setting up operation in one of the hardest hit areas as the director of FEMA arrives in town to tour the flood-ravaged areas.
The much-needed help is a welcome sight for hundreds of residents dealing with flooded-out homes since Tuesday, many without power and food. 7's Robin Simmons kicks off our Team 7 coverage live from Sweetwater. Robin.
I am at what you might consider ground zero of the relief effort. You can see Salvation Army volunteers helping feed folks. They've already fed more than 2,100 hot meals since they set up shop yesterday. You can see the lines are here for food. People are picking up water. Even phone service here. Bell South has also set up a booth. We are at 107th Avenue and 4th Street for all the victims of this flood from Tuesday. After 4 days underwater, the skies are heating up in Sweetwater, and so are the tempers. Are you surprised that people are getting so stressed out?
Yeah, I know. For this reason, I try to, pass away the situation.
Most people simply wait in line. Some patient, some not.
I'm not waiting here 30 to 40 minutes for them to unload. They should take a break and give things to people so they move this line.
A line for cleaning supplies. A line for water.
Hard at it now.
A line for food. Who are you feeding?
My 2 kids and my husband.
Patricia and Jose Mercado spent the last 2 nights with a friend. Today, a Salvation Army meal before Patricia sees her home for the first time since Tuesday.
This is not how my house normally looks.
Up and down the Mercado street, ruined carpets, soggy mattresses wait curbside. And across the street, ruined furniture and dead rats. The water is finally receding in most places, but for many, the real work is just starting.
Be careful with that. And this is our room where my beautiful logos. The water started coming in through here.
The Mercados are lucky. They'll replace their carpeting with tile and likely join their neighbors again in line for dinner.
It's been very hard, but, you know, we're going to make it.
Now, of course, Sweetwater, not the only community hit by these floods. We want to give you some information about a Red Cross shelter. There is one here in Sweetwater, another in Carroll City. That is being moved from the high school tonight at 9 because school will be starting on Monday to the Job Corps Center. That address is 3050 Northwest 183rd Street. Now back here in Sweetwater, you can see the dinner crowd is here. And the folks are saying they could really use some more donations. The hard things they really need are Pampers, diapers, and baby food. Those are the things you can hear them saying. Those are the things they are really needing out here. And so far, the volunteers are working very hard. A thankless job, but the folks here can really use all the help they can get. We are live in Sweetwater. Robin Simmons, 7 News.
Thank you, Robin. Also tonight, several schools around South Florida remain closed today because of the flooding and, of course, because of all the standing water.
So the question now is, will the children have to make up for lost time in the classroom? 7 Education reporter Sharon Melton with the answer to that question.
While the majority of students in Miami-Dade County are back in the classrooms, thousands more still can't return to their schools. 3 days after the flooding closed over a dozen schools, some students are taking advantage of the time off.
I don't have to do homework because I get to do the homework that I haven't done. I get to practice my flu. It's just great, and then it's sad at the same time.
But what everyone wants to know is when will those schools closed open up for the kids? According to school officials, they'll continue to look over the schools before making a determination on if the schools will open soon. The other question students and parents want to know is, will they have to make up the days?
From articles of clothing to dirt, grime, trash, and even pieces of wood, there's still some debris that has to be cleaned up at schools like Sweetwater Elementary, but it's a far cry from the floodwaters that once ravaged this entire school. And when things get back to normal, even students won't have to worry about missing a few days.
But some students aren't upset about making up the days.
We need to do the homework that we haven't done because we're going to have open houses, so we have to make up everything we haven't done these past few days. I want to finish everything. I want to get up my grades and pass my next level. So it's good because I can see my friends.
In Miami-Dade County, Sharon Melton, 7 News.
Schools are closed for Monday for the Columbus holiday, of course. No word yet on if classes will resume on Tuesday or not. We'll let you know.
Fire racing through a luxurious sailboat in South Florida, causing significant damage. 7 Skyforce over the scene in Fort Lauderdale this morning. The flames ripping through the 57-foot sailboat docked behind a home in Isla Bahia. Fortunately, no one was on board at the time. The damage is estimated at $250,000. Investigators are looking into what started this fire. Fire also charring a South Florida home. The blaze breaking out along Southwest 61st Avenue and 62nd Street in South Miami this morning. Officials say the blaze started in the kitchen.
I dropped the kids off to school, and I went to get my mom from work, and they said I needed to rush home because there was an emergency here. And when I got here, I saw it like this.
The kitchen, as you can see, is heavily damaged. There is smoke damage to the rest of the house as well.
A police pursuit coming to a bizarre and deadly end in Hollywood. The chase beginning in Miramar when officers tried pulling over a driver for a traffic violation. The suspect taking off, his car going out of control, eventually slamming into a parked car and a chain-link fence. The suspect was impaled by the fence and killed on the scene.
Police intensifying the search for the suspect accused of murdering a man right in front of his daughter. The 44-year-old victim gunned down by 3 men who stormed into his Margate home last month. Officials releasing this sketch of one of those men tonight, hoping that someone out there will recognize him. If you do, call Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS.
Still ahead tonight from the 7 Newsplex, a police cruiser's dash cam rolling as the officer rushes to an accident scene. What is caught on camera next is horrifying. We'll have it tonight after the break.
A cracked ceiling leading to a whole lot of problems for one school.
Then startling statements from O.J. Simpson's ex about the murder of his former wife. Tonight we get O.J. Simpson's side of the story at 6 o'clock.
also a devout sports fan, sidelined by a horrible accident. But tonight, 7 News makes one wish come true for this 14-year-old boy.
Also tonight, 3 days after our monsoon of rain, and we still see some live pictures right now from northwest Miami-Dade of standing water. They're pumping out water from the streets in northwest Miami-Dade, as they are in Sweetwater and parts of Broward County. We'll keep you posted on the rain situation coming up next.
Time for a 7 Sports Update.
I'm Mike DePasquale. Panthers dropped the putt on their 8th season tonight when they host the Vancouver Canucks at the NCR Center. Trevor Kidd was starting goal for the Cavs. South Florida football fans can take in a pair of big rivalry games this weekend. Top-ranked Seminoles visit the 7th-ranked Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl tomorrow, followed by the Dolphins hosting their AFC East rival, the Bills, on Sunday. The axe has fallen on yet another baseball manager. Davey Johnson was fired by the Los Angeles Dodgers today after just 2 seasons with the team. I'm Mike DePasquale, 7 Sports.
You're watching 7 News at 5:30 with Jessica Gaze, Lynn Martinez, meteorologist Bill Camone with weather, and Mike DePasquale with sports.
I believe we need to encourage personal responsibility so people are accountable for their actions. And I believe in government that is responsible to the people. That's the difference in philosophy between my opponent and me. He trusts government, I trust you. I trust you to invest some of your own Social Security money for higher returns. I trust local people to run their own schools. In return for federal money, I will insist on performance. And if schools continue to fail, we will give parents different options. I trust you with some of the budget surplus. I believe 1/4 of the surplus should go back to the people who pay the bills. My opponent proposes targeted tax cuts, only for those he calls the right people. And that means half of all income taxpayers get nothing at all. We should help people live their lives, but not run them. Because when we trust individuals, when we respect local control of schools, when we empower communities, together we can ignite America's spirit and renew our purpose.
Planning a weekend get-together? You'll want to mix up some mouth-watering appetizers, and we've got the recipes in A Bite with Belky's coming up.
America's having a recession, an education recession that's hurting our children. Our students rank last in the world in math and physics, and most 4th graders in our cities can't read. The Clinton-Gore education recession. It's failing our kids. But in Texas, George Bush raised standards and test scores soared. Now Texas leads the nation in academic improvement. Learn more about the Bush Blueprint for accountability, high standards, and local control.
Bill Nelson has failed. Homeowner insurance costs are up 70%. Surcharges are up $200 million. Bill Nelson, higher costs for lower coverage with fewer choices. That's the Bill Nelson record of failure.
A young South Florida boy crossing the street when he is struck by a police cruiser, and the terrifying scene is caught on camera. The officer involved was rushing to a call when he says the boy darted out in front of the squad car.
It happened on a busy road in Boynton Beach, but tonight the child's parents say the officer was at fault. 7's Lori Jennings is at our news desk with this story tonight. Lori.
Well, Boynton Beach police are releasing a videotape now from inside one of their cruisers, the one that struck a teen bicyclist. And the video gives us an up-close look at exactly what unfolded and possibly at who was at fault. This is videotape from Officer Richard Slusher's in-car camera. Slusher was first responding to an accident last Sunday, but was then called off.
Does a U-turn on Federal Highway to travel north about the 900 block of South Federal Highway and heads north up to Northeast 26th Ave where the alarm. An open door has been discovered at the temple.
As the officer approaches the intersection at Boynton Beach Boulevard, he says his vision was obstructed by cars in the turning lanes. He goes through the intersection on a green light. Suddenly, 13-year-old Jose Manzanares is right in front of him. The boy is hit, strikes the windshield, then is thrown from the car and hits the bus bench. Police have not made their final conclusions, but the tape does show the officer had the right of way.
Well, we've confirmed our initial review that showed that the officer was traveling northbound through the intersection of North Federal Highway and Boynton Beach Boulevard through a green light.
But Officer Slusher was doing about 45 miles per hour, 10 miles over the speed limit. And there are still questions as to whether his lights and siren were on. Police say that on any call, it's up to the officer whether or not to turn on the police siren and light.
I don't have a specific policy that states when you respond to type A call, type B call, type C call, you'll respond lights and siren. He has the right of the way in the intersection, so he's proceeding through the intersection as any one of us would.
As for the boy involved in that accident, Jose Manzanares, he was not wearing a helmet. He remains in the hospital tonight in serious condition. And Officer Slusher is back at work. We'll keep you posted from the Newsplex. I'm Lori Jennings.
All right, Lori, a hefty reward is being offered for clues into a wreck on the rails in South Florida that police are blaming on sabotage. A U.S. sugar train slamming into several parked railroad cars in Belle Glade last week after being diverted onto a sidetrack. The company is offering $20,000 to find out who was behind the incident. Damage is estimated at nearly $1 million. Investigators say the crash may have been directed against U.S. Sugar because of recent layoffs.
A scare at a school in Ohio, a roof collapsing at a Cleveland high school gym, injuring 3 students. The teenagers were on the running track at the time when they were hit by falling debris. School officials say they knew last week about a cracked ceiling beam in the gym roof.
A pro hockey player found guilty of assault in this incident. He's found guilty of assault with a weapon today. Former Boston Bruins player Marty McSorley hitting opponent Donald Brashear in the head with a hockey stick during a game against the Vancouver Canucks last season. McSorley could have been sentenced to almost 2 years behind bars, but he will not serve any jail time. The judge not buying his claim the incident was an accident. Brashear has made a full recovery, by the way, and will be playing tonight against our Florida Panthers.
The man who went to jail for the death of his newborn baby 4 years ago has managed to avoid further legal problems. Charges against Brian Peterson being dropped in a New York courtroom today. Peterson arrested at New York's Shea Stadium last week in connection with a bottle attack against Atlanta Braves pitcher John Rocker. Police saying Peterson's friend actually tossed the bottle at the player, but Peterson intercepted with police trying to make an arrest. Peterson spent 1.5 years in a Delaware prison for the death of his newborn son. He is currently still on probation for that.
Coming up from the Newsplex, tremor terror in the Far East. Dozens are injured in the region's worst earthquake in years. Here are some of the pictures. We'll have more of these coming in off the satellites.
Also tonight, several drivers not able to steer clear of danger on a South Florida interstate, now thanking their lucky stars.
And what better way to start the weekend off than with some mouth-watering appetizers? We're cooking with a famous South Florida chef. Next on Bite with Belkis.
Bill Kamal here in the Weather Center on 7 Storm Scan. The heaviest storms are in southeast Palm Beach and Broward County, but some developing now around Miami-Dade as well in our 7 Storm Tracker. Anywhere from North Miami Beach to Biscayne Park, Sans Souci, Belle Harbor in the next 20 minutes. Expect some rain. The complete weekend forecast. Big changes. That's next.
All right, Bill, and just a reminder tonight, there is still a boil water order in effect for anyone using the Everglades water system that is primarily used in Florida City. Officials say to bring water to a boiling boil, they say, and keep it there for about a minute. If you want to know if there's an order and if it applies to you, you can call the number on your screen, 305-623-3500. We'll be right back.
Meet Elaine Bloom. I'm Elaine Bloom. She's been running ads attacking our Congressman Clay Shaw.
My opponent, Clay Shaw, voted to privatize Social Security.
It's not true, says the Sun-Sentinel. The ad is misleading, said the Palm Beach Post. No such vote took place. Bloom got caught. And they didn't stop at one false ad. Now more deceptive ads. $1 million more. It's a shame. Elaine Bloom's false ads tell us a lot about Elaine Bloom.
911 means emergency, but calling for help with math? Calling for a date? The craziest, weirdest calls ever to come into 911. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7 on 7.
Tonight on Deco Drive.
I'm Lynn Martinez. Sly Stallone is making his comeback in Get Carter, but first Deco's going to get Sly. How he's on the rocky road back.
Deco Drive. Tonight at 7:30 on 7.
I'm Lori Jennings in the 7 Newsplex. Coming your way tonight, all new at 6 o'clock. A tabloid printing some stunning claims from O.J. Simpson's former girlfriend. Well, tonight we're hearing Simpson's side in a one-on-one interview you won't want to miss. Also new for you at 6. Think little bones and breast cancer are only problems for women? Think again after our special report, males with female diseases. Rick is going to join me in just about 15 minutes. We'll look for you tonight at 6.
From the glades to the greens, roughing it or taking it easy, adventure is where you find it. And your South Florida Ford dealer can get you in a sport utility vehicle to match your lifestyle. Ability, security, available side airbags and all-wheel drive, $1,500 plus 0-9 financing with a total savings of over $6,300 on Explorer. On the new Escape to the mighty Excursion, the most complete lineup of SUVs on the planet is at your South Florida Ford dealer, your Ford outfitter.
Turn on the fun, that's right.
Now's the time to celebrate big savings during Winn-Dixie's Buy One, Get One Free sale. Hurry in for incredible Buy One, Get One Free deals, like U.S. Choice Boneless Tip Roasts, delicious Oscar Mayer Sliced Bacon, and Minute Maid Orange Juice, all Buy One, Get One Free. Save again on Pepperidge Farm Layer Cakes and your favorite RC varieties, 2 for the price of 1. Hurry in and double your savings during the Buy One, Get One Free sale now at Winn-Dixie.
Vietnam veteran, father of 4, married 30 years. Al Gore will fight for families. Tax cuts for middle-class families, including a $10,000 a year tax deduction for college tuition. Continue welfare reform with time limits, work requirements. Force deadbeat parents to take responsibility for their children. A crime victims' bill of rights to protect victims, not just criminals. Fight violence and pornography on the internet, helping parents block out what children shouldn't see. Al Gore, he'll put his values to work for us.
There is tremor terror in the Far East as Japan is jolted by a massive earthquake. The quake, the country's strongest in 5 years, striking the southwestern portion of the country, leaving at least 28 people injured. The 7.3 tremor shaking skyscrapers, shattering windows, knocking merchandise off store shelves, destroying homes and businesses, and of course cutting off electricity. The quake also triggering some landslides.
Hurricane Keith leaving behind a flood of trouble in Mexico. Keith's torrential rains flooding streets, leaving homes under several feet of water. About 3,000 people have been evacuated to shelters. No injuries have been reported.
Now, time for 7 weather with Bill Camone.
Well, it's been another day where we've seen some isolated big downpours, and now they're getting more frequent, and the clouds are building. You're seeing a live picture outside our 7 studios, and in some of those clouds, some showers. They have been heaviest now over parts of Broward County and southeast Miami-Dade, but more could be filling in. Here we are in 7 storm scan, the heaviest again north of Boca, but some developing now around us, and we'll zoom in on this one just north of Fort Lauderdale, south of Pompano Beach. So anywhere from Middle River to Flamingo Village and Oakland Park eventually, a little bit after 6 o'clock. Expect as these cells move to the south and east, some moderate rains. And again, nothing severe, but any rain is bad news if it's over a flooded area, so we'll keep you posted on that. Now, big changes are coming for the weekend, and we can look at that on this temperature profile. We're looking at 80s in Miami and Tampa, 90 in Jacksonville, but look, 72 in Atlanta, 62 in Memphis, and the temperatures are still falling. The cold front has entered the Florida Panhandle. Now it's only 70 in Pensacola. And with this line of clouds is a pretty strong line of showers and thunderstorms. We have the thunderstorms developing in the hot, humid air, but this is the line of the big storms with that strong front. It's Arctic in origin, and it's going to have enough push, I think, eventually to even clear the peninsula by late Sunday or Sunday evening. And these lines are called isobars, lines of constant pressure. It's a lot of wind because you have a tremendous difference in pressure across a relatively short distance, and these lines will be over South Florida by late Sunday and Monday, and that means the winds are going to be increasing. So it definitely is a tale of 2 seasons this weekend, from hot and humid tomorrow with a good chance of showers and thunderstorms developing in the hot, humid air and along the front in the afternoon. And then the cold front goes through by Sunday or Sunday evening. The thrust of the cool air stays to the north because the wind should be coming in off the Atlantic, the water temperatures in the 80s. But with the winds and a definite change in the air mass, you will know that the first front of this season has gone through. And it really is cold all through the Plain States into parts of North Texas. where they saw temperatures in the 90s and hundreds. There'll be rain mixed with snow in the hill country of West Texas and the Texas Panhandle this weekend as that cold air plunge comes in, and then the remnants of Keith will be caught up in that as well, with some showers and thunderstorms heaviest along the Gulf Coast. My forecast for tonight, we will see scattered showers or a thunderstorm, and there still will be a chance of heavy downpours, clearing overnight with some patches of fog developing as well. Low of 76 tomorrow, starting off hot and steamy, ending up maybe a little stormy in some spots, low to mid-90s. This should be the last hot and humid day for a while tomorrow, by the way, because look at this. Not as warm, windy Sunday and Columbus Day holiday into next week, with highs struggling to reach 80 by Monday. I'll see you at 6.
Ooh, here comes winter. A couple months away, though. Anyway, are you planning for a weekend get-together? Well, you can whet your appetite now for appetizers with some scrumptious hors d'oeuvres from a famous South Florida restaurant. Sit down and grab a bite with Belky's.
The chef, Alex Bruger, from Ocean Drive's famous Mango's Tropical Cafe. The meal, blackened lobster quesadillas with fresh mango salsa and Cayman rock shrimp fritters. So this is kind of a little appetizer action, little party.
Something like that. Something you can make at home, 30 minutes or less, and probably any grocery store anyway.
The steps. Slice your lobster tail in half and take out the meat. Then slice the tail to open it up as much as possible. Add your blackening seasoning. If you don't have it, you can make your own.
You can take several of your favorite herbs and spices. You can have ginger, turmeric, paprika, chili powder, whatever you might like.
Saute the lobster in a pan, then add your diced green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, red onions, and scallions. While the lobster and the vegetables cook, heat up your tortilla in a separate pan and add cheese on top. Obviously, don't be cheap with your cheese, right? Then deglaze the lobster vegetable pan with some white wine and the juice from half a lime. Remove the tortilla from the pan, slice your lobster, and place the meat in the middle. Put your veggies on top, fold the tortilla over, cut it into slices, place it on a dish, and serve it with a fresh mango salsa. One appetizer down, one to go. For your Cayman rock shrimp fritters, make your batter by combining flour, baking soda, sugar, 1 egg, milk or buttermilk, the rock shrimp, celery, scallions, garlic, red pepper, and chopped jalapenos. Mix it up, then use an ice cream scooper to drop the batter into the oil. The batter will fall to the bottom, then rise to the top when it's ready. Chef Alex lets the fritters drain on a paper towel. He garnishes a plate, then serves them with some cocktail sauce on the side. Now, the next time someone asks who catered your party, you tell them you did.
Beautiful food.
Beautiful and delish. So Jeff was complaining, lobster again. You can use crab meat, shrimp, or even chicken for the quesadilla if that's what you like. And you can substitute calamari, conch, or crab for your fritters. It was yummy. If you want the recipes, you know what you have to do. Log on to our website at WSVN.com or send in a self-addressed stamped envelope to the station, and Jeff will make sure to get them right back to you. Bon appetit! I'm Belky's Neray, 7 News.
Yes, Belky's.
I say that at my house all the time. Lobster again.
You like that dish, though, right?
Oh, it looks wonderful. Continuing now with our top story this evening. Help has arrived finally for those flood victims. The nation's top emergency man in South Florida to survey the damage. Hear what he has to say about this during our live team coverage coming up tonight at 6.
And brittle bones, breast cancer, and hot flashes are not just health concerns for women. How to treat males with female diseases. Ahead.
For more information on any of today's stories, go to 7 online at WSVN.com.
58% of fourth-grade kids in our low-income schools can't read. There's an education recession in America. Governor Bush has a plan. Requires strict accountability and measurements that Al Gore opposes. Propose a Teacher Protection Act that Gore won't support.
If we really want to make sure no child gets left behind in America, we need the courage to raise standards in our schools. We need more accountability and more discipline. It's easy just to spend more. Let's start by expecting more.
Car and Driver ranked the Mazda Protege ES the #1 compact sedan, beating out Honda, Toyota, and Nissan in an extensive comparison test. But the experts didn't stop there. They say it offers BMW Verve for less than half the price. And now Mazda is celebrating with $1,000 cash back on every new 2000 Protege. To which we could only add,
I wouldn't say I'm addicted to shopping. I'm just a little addicted to Marshalls. And who wouldn't be? After all, we've got the latest fashions for you, your family, and home. All up to 60% less. So find yourself a great new look for fall today. Marshalls, brand names for less every day.
Bill McCullum, you know where he stands.
Recently, I was criticized by both the far right and the far left because I said bigotry is wrong and that America needs hate crimes legislation. We do. Look, I know that you and I won't always agree. That's okay. I'm not a typical politician. I'll always say what I mean, and I'll always mean what I say. And I'll always work hard to do the right thing to make you proud.
Bill McCullum, a senator we can be proud of.
That is 7 News at 5:30.
7 News at 6 begins right now.